Check out a new episode every week on Tansley Stearns' Despite Impossible podcast.
Now on to the show.
Studio Lounge interviews at GAC, brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Everybody, Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the 2026 GAC here in beautiful Washington, D.C. And in the Studio Lounge, we have the fine folks from American Share Insurance, or ASI. How do you guys, would you rather be called ASI or American Share Insurance? Which one? Or does it matter?
We refer to ourselves as ASI.
Okay.
But either.
How about first reference? American Share Insurance.
Great.
The rest of the time ASI. How about
Perfect.
that?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's do some introductions here. Right next to me, we have Jennifer Kelly. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing better now that you guys are here. And then right next to Jennifer, we have Kurt Luce. Love the name, Kurt.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very good.
You guys doing okay? How's the show going so far?
So far, really good. Great opportunity to reconnect with a lot of people we know and don't get to see very often, but this is always our favorite event.
It's the big family reunion, they call it. So yeah, how about you, Jennifer? Any highlights to share so far?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of our league partners that we've been working with, and it's always good to kind of see some of these faces again and connect with a couple of credit unions that we haven't seen in a while.
Indeed, yeah. A lot of people were saying it's great to have all your friends under one roof, so you can just kind of go and see them and whenever you want. It's a lot better than a Zoom meeting. So, all right. So today we're talking about CU Choice. And this is an initiative that you guys have sponsored, and it's dedicated to amending state credit union acts to give state chartered credit unions the freedom to choose their deposit insurance provider, private or federal. Very cool, guys. All right, so the first question here, who wants to take, Jennifer, you want to take the first? Ladies first, why not? For those who aren't familiar with ASI, give us a quick elevator speech, if you will.
Sure. So ASI is a multi-state cooperative fund. We are in 10 states. And we are the only private insurer in the marketplace today. We are the alternative to the federal insurance. We're a little more unique in that our model is we're $250,000 per account, and then we've been around for over 50 years, and no member of ours has ever lost money. So we're a really safe option that, if it works for you, we're not for everybody, but if it works for you, it's a great option for state chartered credit unions. Oh,
fantastic. Kurt?
Yeah, and just to add on to that, we're set up as a mutual share guarantee corporation, which means we're owned by the credit unions that we insure. So it's kind of like a QSO in some ways.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So we don't have private owners or any individual. It's all the credit unions that we insure our owners. Our board of directors are made up of only credit union current and retired CEOs. So we've got the credit union industry kind of baked into us for our entire history. Our mission is really to help credit unions succeed in their unique missions. We work with a lot of different sized credit unions, geographically, asset size, seg-based, and they're all unique in their own ways, and our focus is to help them be successful.
Right on. And I think the credit unions really appreciate that they kind of have some skin in the game, so to speak, or they have a voice, that type of stuff, and they're kind of ownership type of thing. So they really appreciate that, and that gives them a lot of confidence in you guys too. So because you guys are dedicated to the industry. So what is CU Choice, and how can credit unions get involved here? Jennifer?
Well, CU Choice is one of our advocacy initiatives. This is basically we want to be able to have, we're in 10 states currently, but we're expanding, and we want to have the option hopefully in all 50 states one day. We are working with our policymakers in each one of those states, our lead partners, and as well as credit unions, to educate them on what the private insurance option is, how it is something they may want in their state, and just having that option for their state enhances the state charter, and it also it just allows for kind of competitiveness in the marketplace, and it's a really good, unique model for credit unions to have. So
no doubt. Kurt, you want to add it?
Kind of as Jennifer mentioned, we think that choice always helps to strengthen the credit union model. We're very big supporters of the dual chartering system, and along with that, the choice of insurance providers in those states for the state chartered credit unions that want to choose that option.
Indeed.
And we've also heard from a lot of credit unions who say, it's maybe not for us specifically, but we love the option for other credit unions because it provides balance to the industry.
Well, that's
And
where the collaboration comes into
Right.
it, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, I'll tell my neighbor down the street
Yeah.
or in the next state or whatever
Yep.
that this might be a good fit for them. So,
Yeah.
love that. That's what I love about this industry. We all want to share so
Yeah.
badly. So let's come to the education part of the interview here. So what are some common misconceptions about private deposit insurance? Kurt, you want to take this one first?
Absolutely. First thing that we hear is that we're not regulated or our credit unions aren't regulated, and that's actually not close to being true. State chartered credit unions are regulated the same whether they're privately insured or federally insured. So the state charter kind of governs what the regulatory framework is for those credit unions in those particular states. And so those credit unions operate under largely the same identical framework as the federal charters and those that are federally insured state charters. So that's usually one of the things that we hear most often. We're actually dual regulated in the state of Ohio by Department of Insurance and Department of Commerce. So we're heavily regulated as well. One of the other things that we hear is, is this really as safe as the federal government? That they can print money and back those insurance claims.
Fair question.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get that and understand that. And because of that, we always maintain a higher equity ratio. We intentionally try to maintain a gap between the equity ratio for the NCOA and for ASI for that specific purpose. We understand that some credit unions think that's necessary and appropriate, and we want to be over-reserved, not under-reserved in those situations. So as Jennifer mentioned early on, we've never had a member lose money in an insured account. And because of that, we think that track record over 50 years.
Yeah. The longevity says it all.
It proves our financial safety and soundness position. Our reserves are looked at by an independent actuary every year, and so we've got a lot of oversight and backing to the fund.
Fantastic.
And I'll just say, and again, as Kurt mentioned earlier too, we're owned by the credit union, so it benefits their safety and soundness means a lot more to them as well.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good point. Good point. Yeah, because again, they got they're very very intimate with them, so they know this backwards and forwards. So how does ASI promote advocacy? Jennifer, you want to take this one first?
Sure. So we're doing a couple of different things. One of our legislative priorities is to get parity on the federal level. So that is, we're going to be working with kind of an outdated regulatory part of the Federal Credit Union Act. So we're working to get that amended this year. So it has to do with mergers and conversions. So when a private credit union tries to go to federal, it's a simple majority of the members who have to vote. When a federal credit union, federally insured credit union wants to go to a private insured, they have to do 20% of their membership, which is something that was easier when there was a lot of branch traffic and back in the day. But now, people don't click on links. People don't. It's kind of changed in how we approach these things. So we're looking to see if we can get that just parity with the federal credit unions. So we're working on that, and then we're working on the CU Choice initiative, which is helping get the option for private insurance in new states. And then third, we're doing a kind of a large education campaign, and that is just explaining to regulators, policymakers, credit unions, leagues, who we are, what our value proposition is, and how our model is so unique and successful and something to look at.
Right on. Kurt, anything to add?
Just kind of reiterating what Jennifer said, a lot of this is about education. A lot of the credit unions know about ASI, but they don't fully understand it. They don't understand the difference we insure $250 per account versus $250,000 per member. And just really providing that information, that education to regulators as well to help them get comfortable and allow them to make that decision. Ultimately, the regulator is still going to have the authority to approve or not approve if a credit union wants to convert to private insurance. That's not being taken away from them. We're just looking to give them enough information to allow them to make a choice if a credit union wants
but they're well versed in what you guys do, right? So they know all about you. You guys have been around for 50 years.
In some states, they're very well educated and they understand exactly what we do. But in states that we don't operate, they just sort of have never had the opportunity to learn as much. So that's really what Jennifer's looking at right now is the outreach and proactively educating.
And to build on that, so one of the things we're doing is we have letters set up to go to the regulators from the credit union. So if you go to our site and you're in any of these new states, you can click to sign on that it's something you want for your state, it's something you want to see your state charter grow. So that's our ask to credit unions.
You know? Options, for sure. Oh my gosh. So last question here, kind of, yes, to wrap things up here. So will you guys share some real life examples where ASI has added great value for organizations in specific situations, like maybe growth opportunities, new product development, unplanned leadership transition? Kurt, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. We since we insure a small number of credit unions, we have the ability and opportunity to get to know their business models very well. So when we reach out and whether we're doing our exams or just doing a touch base and kind of reconnecting with a credit union, we'll ask, like, what are some of the things that we can help you do? And sometimes there might be something right away, and other times it'll be a phone call 6 or 8 months later that they'll call me and say, Kurt, I've got a merger opportunity, how should I proceed?
Wow.
So if whether it's a credit union looking to cross state lines to open a new branch in a new state, or to do a merger or an acquisition, we've had a couple of credit unions look at bank acquisitions, which is new.
There's a little bit of that going on in the industry right now.
It's new, and it's a little bit different, and so we're just kind of laying out the framework and saying these are the things that you should consider because it is an entirely different risk. And then sometimes we'll get a call and there's been an unexpected change in leadership and they're like, what do we do now? Because some of the credit unions we work with are relatively small. And so they might not have had a leadership change in the past 20, 30 years. And so that's when we're like, check your bank accounts, contact your bond provider, make sure you have all the right names and everything updated. So it's a lot of individualized conversations with them that we have the ability to get to know them and their business model. We work with some credit unions that are faith-based lenders and faith-based organizations, so they have a much different business model than someone whose primary SEG is a manufacturing company. And we work with two of the largest ag-based credit unions in the country. And so their business model is very different than that are community-based.
You guys are all over the spectrum.
So so in 10 states, and one of the things that's very helpful for our fund, we've got a lot of geographic diversification. At one time there were 16 or 17 private insurance funds, but most of them were single state funds. And so the ability for us to have multiple states spread geographically allows us. So during the 2008 financial crisis, we had credit unions in California and Nevada that were very stressed, but those in Ohio and Indiana were relatively unharmed from that. So there was some balance to that. So overall, the fund remained healthy through that time. We had challenges just as NCUA did, but they weren't concentrated only in one work.
I remember those days. Oh my gosh. So how much, just going back to the mergers, and how much activity are you guys seeing in that? Because there's a lot of that going on right now. How much is the phone ringing now?
We are seeing a fair amount, just as I think that on the federal side they are as well. I think historically the contraction rate's about 3.5% to 4% over the industry. We track pretty closely with that. Sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little lower, but it's a really interesting time because it used to be small credit unions merged in when there was they didn't have a successor for the CEO or manager, and now it's two very healthy credit unions.
Two multi-billion-dollar. We've seen a lot more of those.
That seem very healthy and sustainable on their own, that are combining for business purposes rather than a need.
Different trend we're seeing for sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, anything else here to add to wrap up? Jennifer, any final thoughts here before I let you go on the rest of the show?
I think just, we appreciate your time, and B, I would say that, we're really, we're looking forward to working with all the different credit unions and the league partners, and they've been super helpful for us, and that collaboration and partnership has been really great for expanding the awareness of ASI. So appreciate that, and looking forward to the rest of the conference.
Indeed, we got 2 more full days to go, guys. Maybe 2.5. Who knows? How about you, Kurt?
Just a quick thank you to you for giving us the opportunity. We're always excited to have the opportunity to share information about ASI and educate more people.
And again, 50 years. Are you kidding me? The longevity says it all. You guys are doing a great job. So keep up the great work there at ASI, and look forward to the next chat down the road.
Absolutely.
Well done, guys.
All right, thanks.
Studio Lounge interviews at GAC. Brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Check out a new episode every week on Tansley Stern's Despite Impossible podcast.